So in basketball, they have the Basketball Hall of Fame. You could be a Harlem Globetrotter and make a Basketball Hall of Fame. Football's different. There's the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and then there's the College Football Hall of Fame. But I was thinking this morning that if you combined it like basketball, and it was just, there was a Football Hall of Fame, you could count college and pro, I would make an argument today the greatest coach in the history of football is not Bill Belichick or Bill Walsh or Vince Lombardi. It's Jim Harbaugh, the greatest coach ever. Think about this. He's never failed. He's 5 for 5. At San Diego, Stanford, San Francisco 49ers, Michigan, and the Chargers. He's never failed. Saban and Urban, unbelievable college legends, struggled in the NFL. He's also not tied to a single player. What's Belichick without Brady? Not great. The only person that kind of compares to him is Jimmy Johnson. My friend and your friend, Jimmy Johnson. Great in college, great in the pros. But even Jimmy took over a Hurricanes program that had won a natty, and they won after he left. And then he took over the Dolphins, and the previous 2 years, they were like 10-6 and 9-7 before he got there. And then he left, and then Dave Wannstedt took over, and Dave got him to the playoffs. With Harbaugh, he's taken over 5 messes. They're all very good by year 2, some by year 1. And when he leaves, the Niners were unwatchable for 4 years after he left. He went from Super Bowl to, is this the worst team in the league? I mean, it's unbelievable. He left Stanford. Couple years with David Shaw. Now Stanford, not good, not close for several years.
Yeah. Listen, it's an interesting conversation. I love Harbaugh. You guys know that. That's why I was such a big believer of the San Diego, Los Angeles Chargers with Herbert and Harbaugh and how the Chargers are going to be right. And I got pushed back because it was like, oh, Chargers are going to Charger. I hear this every year. Blah, blah. I'm like, well, in the previous years, they didn't have Harbaugh, so I don't care what anyone was saying prior to these Harbaugh years. I don't know if you can say that he's the greatest coach of all time, which is what Colin is trying to argue right now. Because there's all different types of coaches, and there's all different, and coaches all have different skill sets. And I think you could make the argument that Harbaugh is one of the most versatile coaches in terms of he can coach in many different settings and succeed, and he's one of the more resilient coaches. So he doesn't need the best quarterback or roster or, you know, whatever it may be. He could be at the college level. He could be with a great GM, a bad GM, an athletic director, right? Like, it's like, you know, and I think that's an awesome argument to make. But like, I don't know. Could Harbaugh maximize Patrick Mahomes in the way that Andy Reid has been able to maximize him? Can Harbaugh elevate, you know, we saw them both with Alex Smith, actually. And Andy Reid did better with Alex Smith than Harbaugh did with Alex Smith. You know, Bill Belichick, I know he's getting a lot of heat right now over his years. And, you know, Andy Reid probably is not the type of head coach who could win with an Alex Smith or maximize that. But if you gave him a Patrick Mahomes, if you give him a Tom Brady, if you give him a great quarterback, he will probably win and maximize that level of quarterback better than other coaches. So again, there's all differences between elevating quarterbacks, elevating average talent to great talent, maximizing elite talent. Phil Jackson, you know, as he brought up basketball, is an unbelievable coach, obviously. Unbelievable. His skill set is maximizing an elite roster, not elevating and developing a pretty good roster. It's maximizing greatness. And not everyone's like that. It's not that easy, because you could have other great coaches, give them Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and they still will kind of struggle because their skill set is not at maximizing greatness. It's not just you're a coach and therefore you're a coach and so you just do it all. Like, it's just not how it works. There's just different skill sets here. And I think what Harbaugh does also beautifully is obviously he's a culture builder, and he's I think he's a great executive at running teams, and he's brilliant at delegating and hiring people. Something that Bill Bitch was not necessarily. So it's all kind of different here. Even Andy Reid over the years has been slightly up and down with like coordinating hires and whatnot, but not entirely his fault either, because he loses coordinators at a pretty rapid rate, and then it's why for him the biggest gift that he's kind of had is in his biggest runs of his career as a coach, he's then been able to lock in a defensive coordinator for years, for extended timelines here. And that's benefited him greatly. But I mean, listen, I think Harbaugh is unbelievable and amazing. I think jumping to the greatest coach of all time, I think saying he's one of the most versatile coaches of all time, and one of the best culture builders of all time, and one of the best leaders of all time. It's like I'm so comfortable saying all of those things, but I think it just becomes difficult to compare the various situations, honestly. I really do. Um, yeah, I mean, Harbaugh is obviously a special coach, and which is why I said it was indefensible for any team that wasn't trying to get him. Why the Chicago Bears didn't try to get him. Why the um, Dallas Cowboys did not try to get him. I mean, like, it mind-blowing to me, honestly, why every team who needed a head coach did not go after Harbaugh. Made zero sense to me. 0 cents. When it felt like Nakani was about to get fired in 2023, I was like, you better go out and get Harbaugh. You better go out and get Harbaugh. Like, anything less than Harbaugh would be ridiculous. And obviously it worked out for the Eagles, but still. So having Harbaugh here with the Chargers is just a massive, massive, massive advantage. And pretty much, any other division, he would be considered the best coach, but of course you got Andy. I don't know. It is interesting. I don't think we talk enough about coaches, and it's because a lot of times we get limited information on what a coach is doing when it really gets boiled down to it. How does Andy Reid truly handle practices and meetings and the conversations that he's having with the other coaching staff? How does he delegate that? What is his role? How does he exactly do it? How closely is he working with the GMs over the years of his career? And making the final decisions, right? Like we just don't really always 100% have that information. So it's a lot harder for us to discuss coaches, and we're rather just like, oh, well, he's calling the plays. And it's obviously easier to look at the players because we're like, we can see him throw the ball, he can see him catch the ball, but it becomes a lot trickier with coaching because you just don't know. Um, so Colin blames Mike Tomlin for not being able to get the offensive line right for um, the Pittsburgh Steelers, but credits and praises Andy Reid for constantly being able to fix O-line issues. And one's an offensive coach, one's a defensive coach. But then it's interesting because, like, shouldn't Mike Tomlin then just hire the offensive guy to get that O-line right? Like, and is that then 100% his fault? Like, it's just, I don't know. It's always an interesting conversation, honestly, when trying to figure that all out. But Harbaugh, of course, deserves all the credit in the world right now. And the Chargers are just completely different from what they've been in the past. Um, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I think they got to continue to win some games and win a Super Bowl or two before we start saying that Harbaugh is you know better than Bill Bitch and just one of just the GOAT coach, right? Like better than Andy Reid. It was weird that he didn't even bring up Andy Reid here. I don't know why, because he said repeatedly that he thinks that Andy Reid is better than Bill Bish. So, I don't know. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Harbaugh? I always get Jim and John. Jim and John Harbaugh. I'm always like, wait a second, is it Jim John Harbaugh? Which one is it? I never remember in the moment. I always mess it up. But let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. Please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be a part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.